And we're back for this week's Weather Wednesday. Salt is usually the best option for melting ice on walkways and driveways, but when the bitter cold returns to the forecast, the effectiveness of salt goes down. Our Kelsey Emery explains why.
In the winter months, as temperatures fall and snow and ice accumulations start to form on the roadways and walkways across the community, that's typically when you start to see the blue salt on the walkways, and roads crews are out spreading the salt on the highways and back roads. The reason why salt is applied to melt ice is a little bit complicated, so let's go back to high school chemistry to remember some of the basics. Remember that the freezing point of water is typically at or below 32 degrees. Basically, the water molecules become more compact and start to form ice. When you add salt to the mix, it keeps those water molecules separated for longer periods of time and prevents the compaction between the molecules. Basically, the water will start to freeze at cooler temperatures. But how cold is too cold for salt to melt snow and ice? According to experts, when temperatures are at or below 15 degrees, salt's effectiveness has little to no impact. Take a look at the graph behind me. As you can see, the amount of ice that can be melted per 1 pound of salt decreases drastically with temperatures. For example, at 30 degrees, 1 pound of salt will melt 46 pounds of ice. At 20 degrees, 1 pound of salt will only melt about 9 pounds of ice. And at 0 degrees, that 1 pound of salt will only melt about 4 pounds of ice. So in cold snaps like we've seen now, when our temperatures start to fall below 20 degrees, road crews will start to treat with sand and sometimes even pre-treat the roads with a brine mixture instead of salt to give drivers a little bit more traction on the roadways.